This is a Jaguar I-Pace, a Jaguar I-Pace 400 HSE Black. And this is the man who has brought it. He's a very tall man. He has been specially elongated for your pleasure. So, this is my friend Steve, and you've met Steve before, remember? This is the guy with the big, hairy bottom TVR and the ridiculously small and ridiculously cute 1965 Fiat 500, a Sicilian left-hand drive import. And some of you will have had the dubious pleasure of watching myself, 6'5", and my friend Steve, 6'7", driving together in one of the world's smallest cars. But my question is this: what are you, a dedicated petrol head, doing with this electrical milk float?
It was free.
Oh, well, can't argue with that.
No, my Ford Ranger has got a turbo hose problem.
Right.
Unlike most cars at the moment, parts are on back order, so I've got this as a temporary replacement for a Ford Ranger Wild Track.
Right.
From a 2-litre twin turbo diesel to a I don't know, washing machine. A very fast, expensive washing machine.
It is, well, it's certainly very fast. How expensive is it?
This one is just over 70,000 resale.
Okay, well, I have not driven a Jaguar of any description more modern than my old X-Types and S-Types. And the only electric vehicles of any description I've ever driven were literally a milk float and a Sinclair C5. So I know less than nothing about this vehicle or these type of vehicles. Maybe you know slightly more than me, or maybe you don't.
A little bit more. So electric vehicles are obviously the way everything's going, whether we like it or not. Whether it's the long-term future of automotive is probably a discussion for another day, but certainly it's where everything's pointing at the moment. There is a lot of range anxiety issues, but this has been on our fleet now for about 18 months, and it's, according to the data, it's averaging about 270 miles for a full charge.
Right.
Which for a car of this size and power and performance isn't unreasonable. And realistically, how often are you going to do more than 270 miles in a day without a break?
Yes, yeah.
So the big test is going to be later this week. Me and the missus are doing a road trip to Scotland for 4 days in this.
Right, okay, that's going to be interesting.
It is.
Have you checked out places en route which allow A, electric charging, and B, offer hot sausage rolls?
The former, yes. The latter, not quite into that depth yet. We've got an app through work. A company called ChargePoint have installed our charge points at work, and the app shows where various charging points are between here and Edinburgh and the other places we're going. I don't think it's going to be an issue finding somewhere to charge up. What I think might be an issue is, are those charge points taken, or are they working? That's what I keep hearing a lot. People turn up at charge points and they're not working. But I'm going to give it a go. I'm open-minded about it.
It'll be an adventure.
It will, and who can refuse being given a 70 grand Jag to go to Scotland for a few days in?
I can't argue with that. I certainly wouldn't. Well, speaking of 70 grand Jags, let's have a look around it, shall we? Okay, well, as I say, I know less than nothing about these, so that's quite a good point to start from. So what I can see is that, to me, it looks like one of those tremendously modern, sporty type SUV vehicles, but it was actually marketed from the off as a 5-seater sports car.
It's not quite the same size as an E-Pace or an F-Pace, which is more traditional SUV sort of size.
Right, well, let's operate one of these rather impressive door handles and have a look inside. That is a fantastically operating door. That is how a door should sound when it opens and closes. Okay, well, at first glance, this appears to be a ultra modern, very well appointed, expensive luxury car. We can see that there are perforated leather seats, which are electrically operated and are heated and cooled. There's an excitingly chunky multifunctional steering wheel. But when we actually clamber inside and get to grips with the internal doings, things become a lot less familiar. Certainly to me. Okay, I think that's cruise control. I can cope with that. Settings for the onboard gramophone. I can cope with that. But where do you put the key? The dashboard display is completely, well, it's uber digital. I mean, it's got pictures. It's basically an in-car cinema, and it's telling me all sorts of things that that I don't really understand. I actually wouldn't know how to start this car. The rear view mirror is actually a rear facing camera. There's a full widescreen cinema setup in the center console there that presumably does all sorts of clever things. Oh, hello, what's that?
Review camera.
Oh, right, okay, so that's showing us another rear view in case we weren't entirely happy with that one. What else can it do, Steve?
I've no idea. I've been finding settings and doing doings.
Okay.
Playing with the usual stuff.
Oh, right, all
stuff.
sound, yeah. Connectivity,
Yeah.
profiles, apps.
You don't get this on a TVR.
No, you don't. You don't get it on a 2005 Land Rover Freelander either. So we've got navigation, phone, media, and then if we go a little bit further down, there's yet another screen, and I think this is all to do with climate control, heat seating, seat heating, seat cooling. There are pictures of androgynous humanoid figures for your viewing pleasure. I think the question on every right-thinking person's mind would be, can you get the archers on this vehicle? Steve is now on a mission to see if he, an intelligent man, can plumb this vehicle into Radio 4. Let's see how he gets on. Oh, he's going to DAB radio. He's going to stations.
And we've got lots and lots of country music. Yorkshire country music, that's going to be
Interesting.
niche.
Resistible, I would have thought.
Radio 4.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Including coming down at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There you go. We have achieved Radio 4. So down here we've got some settings for traction control-y type stuff.
Sports dynamic comfort mode in there.
There we are. And over here we've got the settings for the gearbox, which it doesn't have because this vehicle doesn't have a gearbox as such.
Forwards,
Forwards,
backwards,
backwards.
freewheel.
Okay. Oh, that's quite simple.
Yeah.
An old school sunglasses holder. It's not all brand new technology. Some things, if they're not broke, don't fix them.
But we also have...
What's that? What are they?
That's your SOS button.
SOS button?
Yes.
So what happens when you press those? Is it an ejector seat? Does the roof slide back and you get catapulted out of the vehicle?
No, you speak to a woman on the other end of the phone who says, how can I help? So at the moment we've got 66% battery, 142 miles range. Predicted range with my driving, 212 miles for a full charge, but I have been using that sort of launch control thing to which obviously does deplete the battery
You've
somewhat.
been hoofing it, basically. You've been hooning around like a lunatic.
I've been testing some of its capabilities, yes.
Oh, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah. That I think shows the energy flow, whether you're driving, whether you're braking, whether it's regenerating braking.
Okay.
And then with charging, there's a couple of different types. If you leave it plugged in to your wall charger, it can either charge straight away if you need to get going. It can do smart charging, which is, it will work out what time you need to leave. So if you've got it plugged in overnight and linked up to your Android Auto, it knows that you need to be somewhere at 9 o'clock tomorrow, it will start charging in the middle of the night to ensure that you've got a full battery at the point that you leave. And then low cost, if you're on a split tariff billing, it will charge up only at the cheapest point in the night.
Okay.
Now bear in mind that if you plug this into a 3-pin charger at home, it will take 48 hours to fully charge. If you plug it into a fast charger, it will go from 0 to 80% charge in about half an hour.
Gosh.
And 80% charge will get you about 200 miles.
Right. And passengers in the rear of the car don't miss out on the luxurious touches either. As long as the front seat is moved into a position where only a midget could comfortably sit in it, then a very large man can sit in the rear in absolute comfort. There is an armrest, and the only piece of technology with which I'm personally familiar are these two cup holders just here. In front we've got completely separate air conditioning arrangements for the rear passengers, and we've got 12 volt doings, and where's the ashtray? Where's the ashtray?
You don't smoke in a car like this.
All right.
You don't need an ashtray for vaping.
And there is a full length panoramic glass roof thing, which I quite frankly don't understand. What is it?
It's glass, it just makes it look a bit brighter, but it's tinted glass, so it doesn't make it much brighter at all.
So it doesn't open or anything
No.
like that? It's not a sunroof?
No, it's just a glass roof.
Oh, right, okay. With the sloping roof line, then, you could imagine that were you not to have that glass roofed arrangement, it could feel a little claustrophobic to the rear, but, well, it just doesn't, really. I could get used to this. Now, given time, I'm sure I could work out how to start this vehicle, if that's what you do with an electric car. But it makes more sense to get Steve to walk us through it on the basis that, well, he drove it here, so presumably he knows what he's doing. Let's have a look.
Okay, there's two very important buttons to remember. One is the brake, put your foot on the brake. And second is the start stop button.
Well, hang on, before we get that far, what about putting the key in and turning the ignition on?
There is no key or ignition to plug in, it's just all electronic. The key is just sat.
So do you have to press anything to get the vehicle prepared to start?
Foot on the brake, stop start, it's ready to go.
Okay.
And then select forwards, backwards or freewheel.
So have you started it?
Yes,
What, it's running now?
yes.
I heard no, there was no aural change. So, okay, how do you know it's running? How do you know you've started it?
You've got
What changed?
Charge and power is on there, it shows us it's in park. If I turn it off again, and then we've just got that.
Oh,
basic
okay, so
screen.
it's like a home screen, a lock screen sort
So
of thing.
if I take my foot off the brake and hit start,
Yeah.
that's the same as ignition on in the car. So it's telling me that doors are open and
Oh,
I need to
okay.
press the brake pedal.
Right.
But once I press my foot on the brake,
Yeah.
you'll watch up here. That's it on.
So that's it started and it's ready to pull away.
Yes.
Okay. And then you simply select drive.
Yep. Forward, backwards, or freewheel. But it won't let me because the doors are open. It's telling me that.
Oh, it won't let you drive off with the doors
I
open.
don't think so.
Oh.
Let's try. close the door, buckle seatbelt, remove park brake.
Oh my God, nanny state, you're not
So
allowed to drive.
I'm trying to accelerate. Watch the front just lift up.
Oh yeah,
So it won't let me drive with the doors open. So
right.
that's to prevent drive-by shootings.
Is it really?
Have we had any drive-by shootings since the Jaguar I-Pace has been released?
Well, I haven't personally.
There you go. It works.
Thank you, Jaguar. Okay, my lovelies, the moment of truth. I am actually going to attempt to drive this thing, and I'm just reaching for the keys to put the keys in, and I don't do that, do I?
No.
I need to put my seatbelt on.
Yeah, close the doors because it doesn't let you do anything with
Doors is closed.
the doors open.
Right, I've got no lights or anything on the dash, so...
Foot on the brake.
Foot on the brake.
And start, stop.
Still nothing on the dash. Nothing to see at all. I've just got an empty sea of blackness. There's nothing to indicate that this car is ready to start. But I'm assured if I press this button... Oh.
There you go.
And it says ready. Okay, this is weird. So, I presume the parking brake is automatic.
Yep, just put it in forwards.
So I select drive.
Yep. And that's it. You'll see on the little green hold. So that's
Little
like
green hold, yeah.
temporary parking brake. So
I'm off the brake now.
we are in 1 foot driving mode.
And I'm creeping forward.
Yep. Just don't stomp on it because it will launch. Do you want me to put it into normal driving mode so you can get used to it?
What mode it in at the moment? Go faster.
No, 1 foot driving mode, so that you're basically, you don't need to use the brake.
No, let's leave it. I want the full regenerative experience.
Okay.
So you were telling me, oh, I've got a little amber light in the mirror. What's that all about?
I've not worked that out. It's a blind spot thing, so it will tell you if a car's approaching in your blind spot, but I don't know why the orange light is on quite so often.
So basically, this 1 foot driving, Steve was explaining it to me. The settings are set to full regenerative.
Right.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
So basically, when you come off the accelerator, you get what is effectively engine braking, and that is actually charging up the twin HP7 batteries. They're not really HP7s. Okay, this is very bizarre. There's no sound.
No, there's not.
Oh, and I touched the brake. That's going to take me a while to get used to. Right, I'm creeping. I am going to have to put my foot on the brake.
You just want to get used to it. You'll sort of learn that.
It feels like I'm trying to do. A jump start. And we're off. I'm doing it. My first drive of a modern electric vehicle, and I can say it's markedly different to the Sinclair C5. Right?
Yeah. I can imagine.
I'm going to be brave and take it on the big scary road. Or more to the point, Steve is going to be brave. He's going to let me take it onto the big scary road. Breathe in. Man with glasses. That's a point to me. So if I come off the throttle now,
It'll start braking.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that is extraordinary.
Isn't it?
Just taking your foot off the throttle in this regenerative mode is like braking quite sharply. That's extraordinary.
So once you get used to the progressiveness of that brake, I mean, you can see the corner coming up now on the left.
Yeah.
You just ease off the accelerator slightly. It'll gradually just bring you down to that speed.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. This actually makes for better driving. And I'm sure it's also better for all sorts of things. It's giving you charge into your batteries.
It's more mechanically sympathetical.
Exactly. Not so
tyres,
much wear
brakes.
on tyres and brakes, yeah.
But it also teaches you to drive, dare I say it, properly by looking ahead and
Absolutely.
anticipating what's happening. So you can see there's another left-hand bend coming up there.
Yeah. I'm coming off the throttle and look at that. Look at that. That was just lifting off the throttle. I didn't touch the brake pedal, my foot is nowhere near it.
And if you had lifted off a little bit easier, it would have just slowed down just as if you were on the brake.
This is extraordinary. But extraordinary in a good way. I love this.
I wasn't certain to start with, but certainly the drive out here from this morning out to you.
I'm starting to get the hang of it now. Nowhere
Yeah.
near the brake. Yeah. Right, I did not touch the brake there, and I've come to a stop at the T-junction, and I'm good to go. And we just waft away on an electrical glide of not inconsiderable power. I'll put the window up because there's going to be a bit of
bit choppy.
a bit of noise, and I imagine that the air conditioning will be fully charged on this vehicle. Again, not touching the brake. Not touching the brake. That is extraordinary. So this 1 foot driving really is a thing you can genuinely do. You could probably do a complete journey never having to touch the brake pedal.
Well, I told you about my little challenge about how far along Snake Pass can you get without touching the brake.
Yes, yeah, and you're going down Snake Pass, I imagine, rather than...
Yeah, I'll do it both ways, but there is certain points where, yeah, you've got to brake.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it in this later in the week. I reckon I can get end to end without touching the brakes. I think it'd be far too easy than this.
I tend to agree. Okay, cyclist, brow of a hill. I need to come to a crawl, and again, I'm actually feathering the throttle.
Yeah.
I was nowhere, not remotely near the brake.
Not that you can see it on the camera, but I can vouch for it that your left foot hasn't moved and your right foot is just in the same position.
Yeah. Now, quite apart from the elastic trickery nature of things, this is a supremely comfortable car to drive. I feel absolutely, I need one of these. I need to become slightly more famous so that I can just email Jaguar and say, hello, I'm Boaty, I'm very famous. I'd like one of these, please.
Don't you know who I am?
Yes, absolutely. Now, there's a lot of dashboard in front of me, and there is absolutely no bonnet, and I can't see any corner of the car.
It will tell you there's things that beep if you get too close to stuff.
I'm sure, yeah, I imagine
But
that there
again,
would be.
it's like any car. You'll get used to where the front is and
Of course,
where
yeah.
the wheels are.
This is very, very pleasant to drive indeed. The
Little Elise.
yeah, little K series. The ride is firm but compliant. The noiseless sensation is actually wonderful.
As much as we all enjoy a good exhaust noise
Yeah.
and a bit of engine screaming,
Yes.
this ain't so bad, is it?
It's.
This is why I like having a selection of cars, because
Exactly.
they serve different purposes. I like my Ford Ranger because, yeah, it's big, it's chunky, it's four-wheel drive, all the rest of it, but it's got huge amounts of power, automatic. If I'm doing a lot of miles, the last thing I want to be doing is constantly changing gear and all of that.
Yeah.
I just want it to drive nice and easy, and that's exactly what this is. It's effortless driving.
It really is, and I could become very addicted to this very quickly indeed.
Yeah, you need to do a few launches yourself first, though.
Oh, I intend to. I intend to. Again, my right foot has not altered position. This is extraordinary. I mean, again, apart from the electric nature of things, we are in a £70,000 Jaguar, and of course that means that the cabin is a very, very pleasant place to be indeed.
Nice materials and
Yeah.
it's just well thought out. It's comfortable.
And it seems
feels-
incredibly well put together. I mean,
Yeah.
this feels more, I can't think of the right word, but if I could, I would say this feels more like it than any other car I've experienced, really. And again, I must preface all of this, nowhere near that brake pedal. This is extraordinary. I am coming at this from the point of view of somebody who's not driven anything remotely modern, so this is quite extraordinary. What's happening here?
Okay,
I
left.
can just whiz
Yeah.
over here.
You going for a launch?
Oh yeah. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Oh! Oh my God!
You're hesitating.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
It does take a little bit of getting used to, doesn't it?
I'm not entirely comfortable with going as far down that route as you definitely didn't do. You definitely did not do any sort of speed that could in any way be termed
Irresponsible.
sublegal. Oh!
It's those numbers on the dashboard in front of you when they don't count up in ones, do they?
No. This is, of course, a fully digital dashboard, and there are no analog needles here.
Yeah, I watched it go from like 5, 10, 15, 25, 35,
Yeah.
40.
Oh, that looked a bit exotic. What's
That
that?
Corvette?
I think it was a McLaren.
Oh. So the back has disappeared.
And again, I've come to a complete halt downhill with my foot feathering the accelerator. That is revelationary. I mean, this is
It's the future.
Well-
It genuinely is.
And I'll be honest, I want to be part of this future. I am too poor, but I would have one of these in a heartbeat. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing to drive. Now, I was planning to pull in there to the lay-by so that we could swap over, because we're heading to McDonald's to get a spot of lunch, and I don't want to drive a £70,000 vehicle through a McDonald's drive-thru. But I'm not going to swap over just yet because I'm enjoying this
Good.
too damn much. This is just a sublime driving experience. Oh, could you do me a favour?
Mm-hmm.
Remind me to edit out the bit about hookers.
That'll be on
That'll go on
the Patreon channel for subscribers only.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I'll put all the offcuts into a channel members only. And channel memberships are now available for a very affordable 99 pence per month. Are you a channel member, Steve, my friend of over 20 years?
We can edit this bit out as well, can't we?
But answer came there none. I think that answer speaks for itself.
Don't know if there's a launch control, but if it's on hold.
Oh, holy fuck!
Boats would like to express his heartfelt appreciation to his amazing channel members. Alan Searle, Rosette Chicks, Typhoon Cat, Dinosaur Dad, Car Crazy Norwegian, Tricia Alderman, Neil Gibbon, Classic Wheels Wall, John Moruzzi, Chef Daniel, Kevin Craven, Mark Pea, Chaz Brown, Frank G05, Richard Mahon, Black Lines, General Cheeseburger, Joe Cox, Ashley Stewart, Skik, Sons Vintage, Smashing Piston, Bravard Tina, Ali Mac Mechanical, Julie, Project Nigel, The Guardian of Forever, Marc Persad, Carwiz JC, Sainte QLG, Arma, Robert Jog, that give from SETI Alpha 5, Pingu Concorde, Everything Car, The Greenwood and Ducton Classics. Your support means the world to him, you're all fucking legends and he thanks you from the heart of his bottom. Thanks also to everyone who supported the channel in other ways with super thanks or just by watching the videos and leaving your knob alone when the advert come on. See you on the next video. Oh, and I'm not wearing any panties.